Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to summer. I am so excited that I am filming this and I can finally say that it is my favorite season of the year. Give me a pina colada and plus 30 weather and that is my ideal day. I am in my house filming right now, but it is a beautiful day outside, so I really want to get through this video quick so that I can take advantage of the nice weather that we finally have here. In case you guys didn't know, reading is one of my #1 hobbies that I love to do to kill any of my spare time that I may have, and I have always loved reading. Since I was a little girl, I've always had a book on the go at all times. The first book that I'm starting off with, I've actually already finished. I blazed through this book in 2 days. And I got this book from my friend Caitlin, and I am so thankful that she introduced me to this author and to this book. So it is called Taking Chances by Molly McAdams. And like I said, guys, I went through this book so fast, I could not put it down. I was flipping through the pages so quickly. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to read you the little blurb on the back of the book to give you an idea of what it's about. But like I said, it was amazing and I would absolutely recommend it to you guys. 18-year-old Harper has grown up under the thumb of her career Marine father, ready to live life her own way and to experience things she's only ever heard of from the jarheads in her father's unit. She's on her way to college at San Diego State University. Thanks to her new roommate, Harper is introduced to a world of parties, gorgeous guys, family, and emotions. She finds herself being torn in two as she quickly falls in love with both her new boyfriend Brandon and her roommate's brother Chase. Despite their dangerous looks and histories, both men adore Harper and would do anything for her, including taking a step back if it would mean she'd be happy. So, like I said, guys, this is an absolute awesome read. You would love it. So that is the first book in my summer reading list. I'm going to pile that right there. This second one I also received from my friend Caitlin. It is also by Molly McAdams, and it is kind of very similar to the book that I just introduced to you guys. It's called Stealing Harper. So basically what this one is about is it's essentially the same storyline, but from one of the other characters' points of view. So I haven't read this one. This is the next one I'm going to be reading, and I am so excited to start it. I'm going to be starting it today. Chase Grayson has never been interested in having a relationship that lasts longer than it takes for him and his date to get dressed again. But then he stumbles into a gray-eyed girl whose innocence pours off her, and everything changes. From the minute Harper opens her mouth to let him know just how much he disgusts her, he's hooked. But a princess deserves a Prince Charming who can make her dreams come true, not a guy who can turn her life into a nightmare. All good intentions go out the window when Harper starts to fall for the guy Chase has come to view as a brother. He wanted to protect her by keeping her away, but he can't stand to see her with anyone else, and he'll do anything to make her his. But when it comes down to Harper choosing between the two, will Chase have the strength to step back from the girl who has become his whole world if it means she'll be happy? Lines will be crossed, friendships will be put to the test, and hearts will be shattered. So like I said, it's essentially the same storyline as Taking Chances, but from Chase's point of view. So I'm really excited to start this book, and I just can't wait. Alright, so the third book that I have on my summer reading list is not a fictional book, and it is called Why Not Me by Mindy Kaling. And so again, this I've received from another friend. I've borrowed it from my friend Amy, and I can't wait to read this. I don't read many nonfictions. Usually I just stick to fiction, but I kind of wanted to branch out and try something different. And I am familiar with Mindy Kaling, and so I'm really excited to read this book by her. So I'll just kind of read the little blurb on the inside and tell you what this one is about. In Why Not Me, Kaling shares her ongoing journey to find contentment and excitement in her adult life, whether it's falling in love at work, seeking new friendships in lonely places, attempting to be the first person in history to lose weight without any behavior modification whatsoever, or most important, believing that you have a place in Hollywood when you're constantly reminded that no one looks like you. In How to Look Spectacular, A Starlet's Confessions, Kaling gives her tongue-in-cheek secrets for surefire on-camera beauty. Your natural hair color may be appropriate for your skin tone, but this isn't the land of appropriate. This is Hollywood, baby. Out here, a dark-skinned woman's traditional hair color is honey blonde. Player tells the story of Kaling being seduced and dumped by a female friend in LA. I had been replaced by a younger model, and now they had matching bangs. An unlikely leading lady, she muses on America's fixation with the weight of actresses. Most women we see on screen are either so thin that they're walking clavicles or so huge that their only scenes involve them breaking furniture. And in Soap Snakes, Kaling spills some secrets on her relationship with her ex-boyfriend and close friend, BJ Novak. I will freely admit my relationship with BJ Novak is weird as hell. Mindy turns the anxieties, the glamour, and the celebrations of her second coming of age into a laugh-out-loud funny collection of essays that anyone who's ever been at a turning point in their life or career can relate to. And those who've never been at a turning point can skip to the parts where she talks about meeting Bradley Cooper. The fourth book in my summer reading list is something that speaks true from my heart. I am a huge lover of horror movies, horror fiction, and so this is a Stephen King book, and it is called End of Watch. I've read quite a few Stephen King books. This is one of the newer ones. I actually bought this last year in November when Spencer and I were in Toronto, and I've just had so many books that I've been reading. I haven't had a chance to start this one, so I'm really intrigued to read a suspense kind of like a horror book again, and so let's see what this one will be about. For nearly 6 years in room 217 of the Lakes Region Traumatic Brain Injury Clinic, Brady Hartsfield has been in a persistent vegetative state. A complete recovery seems unlikely for the insane perpetrator of the Mercedes massacre, in which 8 people were killed and many more maimed for life. But behind the vacant stare, Brady is very much awake and aware, having been pumped full of experimental drugs, scheming, biding his time as he trains himself to take full advantage of the deadly new powers that allow him to wreak unimaginable havoc without ever leaving his hospital room. Brady Hartsfield is about to embark on a new reign of terror against thousands of innocents, hell-bent on taking revenge against anyone who crossed his path, with retired police detective Bill Hodges at the very top of that list. So this is really exciting. Like I said, I love anything to do with horror films, horror books, suspense novels, anything like that. So this will be a good read. And I'm never disappointed when I read a Stephen King book. So this one will be good as well. I am intrigued to read this book. It is by Gillian Flynn and it's called Dark Places. So I have read her book called Gone Girl. I've also seen the movie, and just from reading the kind of description of this book, I'm really intrigued to read this one as well. It's another suspense novel, which of course is totally my thing. So let's read the back and see what this one will be about. Libby Day was 7 when her mother and 2 sisters were murdered in the Satan sacrifice of Kinnicky, Kansas. She survived and famously testified that her 15-year-old brother Ben was the killer. 25 years later, the Kill Club, a secret society obsessed with notorious crimes, locates Libby and pumps her for details. They hope to discover proof that may free Ben. Libby hopes to turn a profit off her tragic history. She'll reconnect with the players from that night and report her findings to the club for a fee. As Libby's search takes her from shabby Missouri strip clubs to abandoned Oklahoma tourist towns, the unimaginable truth emerges, and Libby finds herself right back where she started, on the run from a killer. So, oh my god, this one sounds so good, and I can't wait to start this one either. Like I said, so far, when I've gone over all of these books, I'm just really excited to read them all, and so I feel like I'm going to be able to get through my summer reading list pretty quickly because these all sound like page turners, and I just can't wait to get through them. So I have 2 left. The next one I'm going to talk to you about is another one that I have not read before, and I've actually never read anything from this author, and a lot of you might be really shocked about that because I feel like this author is very well known and a lot of people have read a lot of her stuff. I don't know, maybe I'm just making that up, but that's kind of like the gist that I've gotten from when I've heard about this author. But this book is called Small Great Things by Jodi Picoult. I got this for Christmas from my mother and father-in-law. I am not sure what this is about. I don't think I've even read the description. So let's read it and see what it'll be about. Ruth Jefferson is a labor and delivery nurse at a Connecticut hospital with more than 20 years experience. During her shift, Ruth begins a routine checkup on a newborn, only to be told a few minutes later that she's been reassigned to another patient. The parents are white supremacists and don't want Ruth, who is African American, to touch their child. The hospital complies with their request, but the next day the baby goes into cardiac distress while Ruth is alone in the nursery. Does she obey orders or does she intervene? Ruth hesitates before performing CPR and as a result is charged with a serious crime. Kennedy McQuarrie, a white public defender, takes her case but gives unexpected advice. Kennedy insists that mentioning race in the courtroom is not a winning strategy. Conflicted by Kennedy's counsel, Ruth tries to keep life as normal as possible for her family, especially her teenage son, as the case becomes a media sensation. As the trial moves forward, Ruth and Kennedy must gain each other's trust and come to see that what they've been taught their whole lives and about others and themselves might be wrong. Okay, so anything to do with like this, I find, I don't even know what to say, guys. This is going to be a very interesting read. As a person who does not tolerate racism at all and thinks it's absolutely terrible, I feel like this is probably going to be a tearjerker for me. I really get pulled into good stories, and I feel like this is going to be one of them. I'm interested to see how this story pans out, and I think it's going to be good. I'm probably gonna go through a box of Kleenex whilst I read this book, but you'll all find out how I feel about all of these books after I read them, and I'll explain that to you guys after I go over my last book here. So the last book that I have in my summer reading list is a doozy, guys, and it is a book that I have read twice before, and I know I'm gonna like it because I already love it. It's been turned into a trilogy of movies, and I am a huge nerd, as I have previously stated in multiple videos of mine, if you guys have watched them, not including the multiple appendixes at the end of this book. The entire book is 1,031 pages long, so it's huge. It's a huge book, and this is J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. So this is a 50th anniversary edition copy of this book, and I have just purchased this not too long ago. So actually I own another copy of this book, and Spencer had bought it for me a few years ago for Christmas, and it is also a 50th anniversary edition. However, it has gold leaf pages, and like it's not a reading copy of Lord of the Rings. So I went and picked this up from Chapters in Winnipeg. I think it was like $70, but I mean, money well spent in my opinion. I'm sure like most of you are familiar with Lord of the Rings and the books or the movie. I mean, the book it's an advanced reading level, this book, and so many of you probably haven't read it. Most of you have probably seen the movies, which I definitely recommend. For the sake of the people who don't really know the storyline of Lord of the Rings, I'll quickly read through the blurb right here as to what it's about. In the ancient times, the rings of power were crafted by the elven smiths, and Sauron, the Dark Lord, forged the One Ring, filling it with his own power so that he could rule the others. But the One Ring was taken from him, and though he sought it throughout Middle-earth, still it remained lost to him. After many ages, it fell by chance into the hands of the hobbit Bilbo Baggins. From his fastness in the dark tower of Mordor, Sauron's power spread far and wide. He gathered all the great rings to him, but ever he searched for the one ring that would complete his dominion. On his 111st birthday, Bilbo disappeared, bequeathing to his young cousin Frodo the ruling ring, and a perilous quest to journey across Middle-earth, deep into the shadow of the Dark Lord, and destroy the ring by casting it into the cracks of Mount Doom. The Lord of the Rings tells of the great quest undertaken by Frodo and the Fellowship of the Ring, Gandalf the Wizard, Merry Pippin and Sam, Gimli the Dwarf, Legolas the Elf, Boromir of Gondor, and a tall, mysterious stranger called Strider. I do want to mention to you guys that I will be writing reviews on all of these books, and I actually have these 3 books behind me right here. I've previously read, just finished reading, and they are the first 3 installments of the Seven Sisters series by Lucinda Riley. These 3 books I have reviewed already. I will pop a link in the description box down below to my blog so that you guys can check out the reviews for those books, and that's also where I'm going to be doing my reviews for these 7 books here. And I will also pop a link down to my Goodreads account down below so you guys can follow me there if you want and see what other books I have read. That is it, guys, for my summer reading list, and I am really excited to get through these books and let you know what I think and go on from there, because like I said, I always have a book on the go. And so once I finish reading these 7 books, I'm kind of out of books to read, and I think I might have to go shopping again. Okay, guys, I am going to sign off for today. I would really appreciate it if you guys subscribe to my channel, so hit that red subscribe button down below as well as the thumbs up button. And if you would like to see more videos from me, I post weekly videos on this channel every single Wednesday. I will see you guys in my next one. Have a good day, guys. Bye.